Hi everybody, my name is Everette Scott Ortiz, and for those of you who don't know me as a friend or a family member, you may know me as an actor. I've had the opportunity to be in many feature and short films and speaking roles, and also in extra parts in major feature films. But in 2010, I had the amazing opportunity to be a part of a story that I had never even heard of in a documentary film for the History Channel called I'm Alive, Surviving the Andes Plane Crash. In that film, I had the opportunity to play the role of Gustavo Cerbino, who was one of the 16 survivors of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, a plane that was carrying 45 passengers from Uruguay and Montevideo to Santiago, Chile, just for a 4-day weekend of fun and also a rugby match, as 18 passengers on board the plane were part of a college rugby team from the Stella Maris College. The most amazing thing for me in regards to filming was not only getting to portray somebody real. As an actor and as a person, I've always longed to find a deeper connection behind any film, or at least to be a part of a story that would touch people's hearts and reach deeper into what they do into their everyday lives and the way they think, and being in part of that film hoping that I did it too. I had also the amazing opportunity to act alongside the cast who were portraying survivors like Nando Parado, Roberto Canessa, Susana Parado, Senia Parado, Marcelo Perez, Liliana Methal, Javier Methal, Eduardo Strauch, Bobby Francois, and many, many others. The big thing for me in discovering the story was that not only was I one of the only cast members who didn't know about it, I think I may have been the only one who didn't know about it at the time, was that there was a power in the group. There was a power in working together and finding just what these people went through in 2.5 months stuck up in those mountains on the Cordillera of Argentina and Chile. In doing my own research and going through the story and realizing that I was connected to so many amazing people, whether they were on board the plane or parents or family members or friends of the people who were on board the plane. But everyone chooses their heroes. Everyone has whether one or many heroes involved in that story. Everybody did their part. There was somebody on board that plane of the 27 initial survivors and the 16 afterwards who did their major part to make sure everybody got home. But for me, if you were to ask me, and I am one who has many heroes, if you were to ask me who my one hero of the Andes would be, it would be Liliana Methal. Liliana Methal was an amazing woman. She was married to Javier Methal, who was 37. She was 34 at the time that they boarded the plane. And among the initial survivors, after Susana Parado had passed away, Liliana was not only the only woman out of 27 survivors, but she was also one of the older ones. The next oldest besides her would have been Daniel Fernandez at 26. But her and Javier, being in their 30s, were, at a considerable distance from the other survivors. But at the time of the crash, Javier was stricken with severe altitude sickness. Liliana seemed to be fine despite a few minor injuries, but she took it upon herself not only to care for Javier, but to also become a source of strength. She became a mother figure to many of the younger boys on the plane. In fact, I think to everybody. A source of light in such a dark place. And for me, that is the most heroic thing somebody can do, whether she's a woman or a man, or whether you're injured or young or old, or not injured and you're fine. For Liliana to have stepped up and did what she did when no one is there to be there for her, but she's there for others, protecting them, guiding them, and giving them hope and strength in times of none. That's the most amazing thing for me. And I pray every day that people will be touched by not only her, but the others who are easily forgotten, while everyone on board that plane was special. And for Liliana, everything she did touched me, as did many of the others, even after 2.5 weeks of being up on that mountain, and an avalanche came and swept not only her away, but Marcelo Perez, who was the best friend of Eduardo Strauch and the captain of the team, and also an amazing source of strength to the whole group in uniting them and keeping them alive, but also Carlos Roque, who was the mechanic on board the plane, Enrique Platero, Diego Storm, Gustavo Nikolic, and a few others. It's amazing how many people who gave so many hope can easily be forgotten. And I don't want them to be. And already 40 years has passed since that time, but it never loses its meaning.